Hello. Today I would like to introduce you to one of our new IGC for EMC Documentum solutions, PDF Scheduler. PDF Scheduler is an IGC solution that provides an out-of-the-box integration with EMC Documentum Content Server that works with Blazon Enterprise to automate rendition creations and Redacted Enterprise to automate the redaction of content stored in your repository. The PDF Scheduler solution is provided as a DAR and includes the following: an IGC rendition job and a method. Here in Documentum Administrator, we have the IGC rendition job. And if we look at the properties, you'll see it's a standard Documentum job with very little settings within the job itself. And if we go to the Documentum methods, we will also find an IGC rendition method. Again, looking at the properties, a basic Documentum method that is used by the IGC rendition job. Now let's take a look at the folder structure that is also included with the PDF Scheduler solution. In the System cabinet, we have an IGC folder, which contains an IGC Transformation Service folder, which contains a folder containing the rendition configuration objects. And this stores the rendition configuration objects, which, as you see, has an object type of IGC underscore rend underscore redact underscore config. A single rendition configuration is provided out of the box. However, you can have multiple configuration objects, as you see here in my repository. The default rendition configuration object can be copied very easily by selecting it, selecting Edit, Add to Clipboard, and then selecting Edit and Copy here. We will now see that we have a copy of the rendition configuration, and if we open the properties to view all of the settings, this is where all the magic happens. The IGC rendition job will only use the rendition configuration object that is marked as active. So we need to select the tick box to activate this particular configuration object. Note that multiple rendition configurations can be used simultaneously within a single job. Now let's look at the additional settings. We have the IGC rendition server. This is the URL pointing to our Blazon Enterprise server. Next, we have a shared folder location. This location must be accessible by both the content server and the rendition server, i.e. either Blazon Enterprise or Redacted Enterprise. This will be used to temporarily store the content from the repository as the rendition creation occurs. The desired rendition format allows us to select from multiple rendition formats stored in the repository. We do include a number of new rendition formats with the PDF Scheduler solution, such as IGC PDF rendition, IGC CSF rendition, and we also have an IGC TIFF rendition. For the demonstration, we're going to select IGC PDF rendition. This allows for your organization or the customer to preserve existing renditions that are using the standard PDF format, or to create multiple renditions of varying formats that might be used for different distribution reasons. Going back to the properties, we are going to select the Create Repository Rendition. This must be selected if the job will create any rendition objects from this active configuration. We can also select to overwrite any existing renditions if they exist, which would be of the same format that we've specified as the desired rendition format. We also have the option to burn in any Bravo markups if they exist for the documents that are being processed as part of this job. Next, we have a more powerful setting, which is the query. Here you can enter a DQL query to identify the objects the job should affect and to create a rendition for. For this demonstration, I am going to use a very simple query that is selecting a single document or object from the repository. So the query is select star from etmf_document where object ID equals, and you see the object ID in the query statement. Now let's scroll down a little bit further in the properties of the configuration object, and we have our watermark and banner setting. This is where we can set the properties for a watermark or a banner that will appear on the PDF rendition in this particular case. We can specify the font from a selection of fonts. We can also specify the font color. We can set the opacity of the watermark. And we can also specify the font size. Now we can specify the watermark that we will use. The watermark can be a combination of as well as tokens, such as %dbstring, to pull in metadata values from the repository to be used as part of the watermark or banner. So for the watermark, we are going to specify a free text string of status : and then we're using the %dbstring, and in parentheses we have the documentum attribute a_status. So the watermark will display the word status : and the actual status attribute value that will be that is associated for the documents that we are going to process in this particular job. We can also specify a banner, which can be specified at various locations around the document, and we are going to set this to be the banner top setting, and the string that we're using is IGC PDF rendition created by PDF scheduler, and %date is one of the other tokens that we can use for the watermark and banner settings. Now you'll see in this properties there are a number of other settings that we can utilize, but we're not going to go through all of those right now, but we do have those documented very well within the documentation. Clicking OK will save the changes to the copy of the rendition configuration. Now if we go back to the documentum jobs, and once again we're going to filter that based on the IGC type, and we're going to select IGC rendition job, and we are going to run that job. The job will take a few moments to run and to complete, and we will look at the outcome of that in just a moment. Now that the job is complete, let's go into WebTop, and we are going to do a simple search for the document that was used in the rendition job, Julia Rivers authorization.doc. And in the search results, we are going to identify the object that had the object ID that was specified in the query for the job, which is here. And if we select View Renditions, we'll see that we now have an IGC PDF rendition. And from here, we can open that up inside of Brava. And along the top, you see that we have the banner IGC PDF rendition created by PDF Scheduler on November 11th, 2014. And if we zoom out, you'll see that we have the status and the approved status value that is the a_status attribute value against this particular object. So that concludes a brief demonstration of PDF Scheduler and how it can be used with Blazon Enterprise to create PDF, TIFF, or CSF renditions of your objects stored in your repository in an automated fashion using our Documentum job.